Can you hear us okay? You're all unmuted. And my name is Peter Fong, and I'm with SCORE, and we provide mentoring and educational services for our small businesses. And we are a resource partner to the Small Business Administration. So with that, Mikhail, can you give a little elevator pitch about you and your background in insurance?
Yeah, good morning. My name is Mikhail Sarkosh, Sarkosh Insurance here in Fresno, local independent insurance broker who has been part of the SCORE mentorship program for close to 3 years now. And yeah, today I'm here to really just help with any questions and learn a little bit about people's businesses and just kind of see where I can fill in any blanks in regard to your insurance or bonding questions.
And just AC, can you tell us what type of business you're in? And then we'll just go to Matthew, Kevin, and Michael. You're unmuted, so just tell us about your business.
Matthew says he's not in business yet.
Okay.
Matthew, what kind of business are you thinking about starting or interested in?
Considering starting a restaurant.
Okay.
Sure. That's let's touch on that. Are we talking fast food? Are we talking ethnic American? I'm interested what you're interested in.
Yeah, it's pretty much just American, in a mix of that and some ethnic food as well. I'm originally from the Midwest, so we're really big into like gamey type food, especially fish. So we do a lot of fish fries and whatnot there too. So it'd be a mix of that and just pretty much of that and American food.
Do you currently do catering just privately or?
Yeah.
Yeah, how's that been going for you?
It's been okay. It kind of depends on the location that you're in, because the location where I'm at right now, it's not too many people that would really want that particular type of food. Whereas, a lot of my business, well, not necessarily business of that nature, because I'm not necessarily in business at the moment, but a lot of my clients or whatnot will be in San Jose and Hayward and whatnot. And I guess because there's a missing link of that type of appreciation for the food that's not out here in the Bay Area. So I guess that's something that you typically look for when they eat some of that food.
Gotcha. Okay. Are you so you're in the Bay Area then?
Yep.
Gotcha. Okay. Right on. Are you so you're doing catering right now, and I mean, have you thought about doing the food truck thing, or have you like leaned towards more of a brick and mortar store?
I consider food truck only because farmers markets that I've went to, a lot of people that I spoke with that have food trucks, they said that's a lot more lucrative just to have a standard location every week there, and then to just be moving around, because I guess they told me that there's a lot of money to be spent just maintaining the truck versus just bringing it to events such as something like that.
Yeah, and that's kind of what I was getting to is, there's definitely there's pros and cons between both. Obviously being mobile is nice because you can take your business anywhere, but then there's all the exposures that you have from having to purchase a truck and maintain the truck and then insure the truck and protect the truck. There's a list of things. And then of course having a brick and mortar store, just a retail a physical location, it limits you to just that one area. Like you were saying, you got to really put your pin on the map in the right area, especially given the type of food you're providing. So that's a tough challenge.
Right.
In either case though, I will say from an insurance standpoint, you're gonna see a lot lower of an expense from insurance when you have a physical location as opposed to a mobile food truck.
Mhm.
And primarily that's because you're in one place, right? It's more likely that your food truck is to crash or something, or someone
Right.
vandalize or steal a generator than it is for someone to break into the physical location and try to steal your restaurant equipment, for example.
Mhm.
So I've seen that the liability and the property insurance, for physical locations is a lot less than, a food truck would be that is going mobile. Like I've done food trucks or coffee trucks, and it can cost, two, three, four, $5,000 a year, depending on the value, of the truck. If you're going to put, 60 grand into it, then it's going to cost more, right? As
Right.
opposed to a $15,000 truck, or if that's what you can get away with, you know. Um, but it just really varies. What questions, do you have? Do you have any specific questions in regard to like insurance and on a future store or anything like that? Or
No, I don't have any particular questions at the moment.
okay, yeah, I mean, I think that's a great idea. It looks like, is it AC? Is it AC Matthews?
Right, construction.
Construction. Okay, so are we a general contractor? Are we a trade specific?
You can unmute yourself, AC.
We're generals.
Okay.
Excuse me, Daisy.
Did I hear general?
1 second. Yes,
Oh, okay, wonderful. How you doing today?
I'm great. How are you?
I'm good, thank you. Where are you from?
Yeah. Give me 1 second.
Sure.
Thank you. All right. No. Hello. Yes. Sorry.
No, you're good. How you doing today, AC? Where are
Right,
you
man.
based out of?
I had a call come in, man. Another business call. My bad.
No, you're good, man. You got to handle business. I totally understand.
Yeah, I'm a general contractor in Lathrop, California.
Oh, okay, so you already have your contractor's license, correct?
Yes.
Oh, okay, wonderful. How have you been? Have things been busy for you?
I'm just opening up. So, I started December, so I've been pretty much just, getting all the information I can, networking a lot, trying to make sure all my T's is crossed and my I's are dotted. That's it. So it's really information highway for me right now.
I got you. Do you have any interest in a specific area that you're going to start doing work on, like awning installation, patio upgrades, or like bathroom? Like, do you have a specific area that you're going to focus on, or just kind of whatever comes your way?
No, not really. I'm in the civil infrastructure. I've been an operating engineer for the last 11 years. So, I plan on buying equipment and putting equipment out there. So insurance is going to be most important for me to cover myself, my equipment.
What kind of equipment is that?
I'll be having heavy equipment. I'm a construction equipment operator, like loaders, scrapers, dozers, excavators, things of that nature.
Gotcha. Okay, so you'll be doing like grading. Are you going to be
Yeah, grading, excavating, demolitions, structural backfilling,
Gotcha.
things of that nature.
Sure. Now, have you had any experience in public jobs, or is it just mainly a private contract?
Well, I've had experience working for other companies, but for myself, no, I haven't got out here on my own yet. I just actually received my license number Friday. So
Oh, okay. Congratulations. So you got your license. Did you get bonded as well?
yeah, I have a bond, but I mean, I need to actually find a broker. I have a bond that, just a regular, the corporate bond that I had to get out of the $15,000 worker bond.
Right,
That I
the
need to pay.
contractor bond,
Yeah.
correct.
Now I need a broker so that I can get with, someone, to give me like a real working bond, see what my capabilities are, what I, I still
Yeah.
liability insurance and things of that nature.
Yeah, maybe Christina can share the previous surety bond presentation that we did last time. We actually kind of dove deep on the bonding requirements and the bonding capabilities per the individual, right? Because even though you're starting your business now, did you open up an LLC or corporation, or are
I
you
have a corporation.
you got a corporation? So in our last presentation, I discussed how bonding for public jobs, because when you go put a bid for a public job, let's say you want to bid on the street work for a development or et cetera, they're going to ask you for your bonding capability, which is what limit are you going to get bonded to. So if your job is going to be, I don't know, $500,000, they're going to want you to be bonded for $500,000. So that means you need to get approved.
Right.
And they're not just looking at the business, they're looking at the owner of the business and their personal financials to ensure, and their personal experience with these type of jobs, because they're going to basically say that, hey, we're going to vouch for you. We're going to put
Right.
the bond up, and it's going to be collateral. If you don't do the job, then we're going to have to go after you personally. That's why they're going to check your credit and make sure you have a home ownership or whatever it is they look for. Sometimes they'll take a irrevocable letter of trust from your bank if you have money, and you know what I mean? So there's different avenues, but yeah, I mean, you're going to want to work with a broker, and I can guide you in the right direction on that. But ultimately, that's only one part of the requirements as well. Then you're going to have liability insurance, right, which is another aspect, and liability insurance can cost you a lot depending on what type of work you're doing. And when you're doing excavating and demolition, I know one of the biggest exposures out there is, especially depending on which area you're in, is the vibration that you can cause structural damage to nearby properties. I've seen that where they go and build a underground parking garage, and then the vibration that they cause now creates cracks in the drywall or windows of nearby homes or buildings. So you need to have a proper liability insurance. Then of course you have to have the property insured for your equipment, and that's gonna not only cost for the insurance, but if those are going to be vehicles in excess of 10,000 pounds gross vehicle weight, those need to have federal filing or state filing, depending on whether you're crossing state lines. So there is a list of things that need to be discussed in that regard. And I mean, insurance is a huge play on that point, but ultimately, once you're in that position, to start attacking some of those challenges, you're going to have those questions that are going to come up, and it's probably hard for you to come up with them now because it hasn't happened yet. Do you have anything, off the top of your head that just comes to mind that you have a question on specifically in regard to insurance or bonding?
I mean, my thing right now is just trying to find the right broker that I can work with,
Gotcha.
and then letting them lead me through this bonding process.
Sure. Yeah. No.
I have a lot of as far as direction, but like I said, I need a broker. I want to, I need a broker myself to work with, so they can actually do like the things you said, know my capacity, know my, what I'm working with as far as collateral, know my experience. I've been doing this type of work for the last 11 years. I just decided to go on my own, just to create, they need more competent individuals. They don't just need me sitting on a machine by myself, but I can actually put more people on the machine and get more work did. So
sure.
Let me jump in here. And the question for everybody here is that in order to solidify your business out there, does everybody have a business plan? Have you completed a business plan? We do a one-page business model with Canvas, because this gives you direction on marketing, the banking and the insurance portion of it, and for contractors. Ace, I think another area I didn't hear you mention, are you certified to business with Caltrans? There's a great opportunity on there, and there's some set aside for different business entities out there. And just simply go to caltrans.dot, california.gov, and you're already incorporated, and submit your application on there. And you should have what they call a vendor number, and you should receive that within 24 hours. And
Yeah, I
then,
have one of those.
okay, and then they're going to want a capability study, which is a business plan.
I have that as well.
Okay, and then are you receiving bids?
Right now, I just got my license Friday, but yeah, I'm receiving bids. Yes, I'm receiving jobs, but I'm not doing any bids. But I'm receiving jobs from Caltrans. I'm receiving jobs from Sam's. I'm hooked up with Sam's. I'm hooked up with different cities. I'm hooked up with I got to the suppliers clearinghouse. I've been doing this for a year. I have a score mentor. His name's Gary McKenzie. I have SBDC who've already did my business plan. I have a Chase mentor who I've got through I'm in Turner School of Construction Management right now at the moment. So
Excellent.
I'm getting a lot of the information. Like I said, I'm just compiling my information up to make sure I got my T's crossed and my I's dotted right now.
We do have advocates at Caltrans that can work with you directly, specifically on your your coding. It's more important that we line that up with your profile and the coding for your business on there. So who's your mentor? Gary McKenzie, you said?
Yes, and I'm working with Right Source as well with Caltrans. I got like 4 or 5 mentors that I've got through a lot. I'm kind of like been running, guys. I'm
Okay.
like I say, I just keep getting this information to see if I missed something. So I'm taking advantage of every seminar, every webcast, everything I can get, compiling list of everything I need. So I can make sure as I step out on this journey that I can have, like I said, I'm covering myself all the way, because I don't want to have to look back and realize I missed something.
Well, you're doing the right thing, and you can't get enough information on that, but there's advocates in there that can help you. And it sounds like you are connected with that, and I would just continue down that course, because there is, you're in business for yourself, but you're not in business by yourself. There is a lot of resources. These are taxpayer dollars that work for you, and it sounds like you're taking advantage of it. So I appreciate that. Yeah.
I appreciate you guys. You know what I mean?
Well, you guys are the economic growth of our around the country, and we really depend on small businesses like you. So anywhere we can help you foster your business and growth, that's why we're here.
Nice, thanks.
So Kevin, let's switch over to you. What kind of business are you involved in or interested in?
Well, I'm just starting with a freight broker, trying to develop a freight broker company. I'm in the Fresno area right now. I'm commuting back and forth from Fresno to Sacramento. Just wanted to dial in to see what I know. I'm required to have a bond, at a minimum of $75,000 bond, and some insurance. And I thought this would be a good place to see where I could any recommendations for how to get that surety bond.
Yeah, the surety bond is just a license bond, I assume. I've done those many times. I work with a lot of car dealerships, basically, who all have the requirement as well in order to get licensed, $50,000 with DMV. So $75,000 is just that. I think it's the Department of Transportation's requirement, if I'm not mistaken. But essentially, Kevin, the bond is very, very simple in your case. It's based on your credit. So if you have solid credit, then we can generally get you approved at a 1% rate at best, and sometimes up to 5% rate on the worst end of things. So to give you an example, best case scenario would be like $750, and then a worst case scenario could be as high as like $3,700 a year. Of course, this is an annual bond. We quote these in-house all the time, so it's just a soft hit on your credit. It's not a hard hit, but yeah, we could have a discussion and see if I can help you with that. As far as the insurance goes, that's a different kind of an animal per se. It's based on like, the sales that you suspect to have. And then I'm not 100% sure if the Department of Transportation requires you to have workers' comp or not. Have you dove into that yet, or?
No, I won't be. I don't think I need anything. I know just from everything I'm reading. That's going to be on the individual. I don't have any employees right now, so it's just me under LLC. So
Got it. Okay, so you don't have any get that then, so you don't have to worry about workers' comp then. That's good. That's one less item from the insurance side you have to run with. But yeah, I mean, liability, again, it's usually based on the sales that you are expected to receive within one calendar year, and then most of the times they audit those sales. So if, let's say, you put $500,000 of sales, but then you exceed that and do 750,000, they would prorate you accordingly and charge you an additional premium. One thing about insurance companies, which is kind of a funny thing and rather complicated, because with workers' comp it's entirely different, is on the liability insurance. If, let's say, you you overestimate your sales and you really have $250,000 in sales, but we rated you for $500,000, the insurance companies, they don't give you a refund, believe it or not. So that's kind of a side note that you should keep in mind when you're starting your business, is the numbers that are used. Sometimes if you overestimate them, it may not be entirely beneficial because you're not going to get a refund, as opposed to if you underestimate them and then you end up doing more, they're going to charge you. I know it seems backwards, but that's just the way they work. So keep that in mind. But those are all things that would be explained to you, through a reputable broker, whether it's myself or another trusted individual.
So I'm looking for your information. I kind of got on this call kind of late, so all your information is in the. How can I get your information to work through this process for the bond?
Yeah, so I can just type it here in the message board, and then you guys can reach out to me individually. I'll give you my direct line and my email.
Yeah, because I'm still working my business plan right now. It's going to be a little bit more detailed because I eventually I want to target the DOD and government entities for I'm a veteran, so I want to target that and see how can I get qualified for when can I start doing contract with those guys. I'm still in the military currently, so I'm just still working through that process.
Yeah, that's a good thing. I know I work with a couple clients who are also veteran owned, and Peter can probably give some more insight on this, but I know that in a lot of cases, there's a certain percentage of public jobs that have to go to veteran-owned companies. I think it's 5% or 10%. So yeah, I mean, that's a great idea and a great part of your business plan.
If you're doing business in California, just go to DGS or Caltrans, your broker on there, and register your business, and there is set aside for veterans.
What was that? What was the first one? I got Caltrans, and what was the other one?
DGS, Department of General Services.
Okay.
California, and there's advocates in there for you. Are you 10% or more?
Yes.
Okay, then you'll qualify. We call for a DBEB, and there is a special set aside for you on there.
Okay.
And,
yeah.
And you can always reach out to me, and because I do help a lot of our veterans get certifications in that regard. And Christine will put my contact information in the chat for you.
All right, thank you, sir.
Yeah, so it looks like Michael just entered the room here.
Mike Moore is one of our volunteers. Michael, do you have any questions on insurance while you're here? You can unmute yourself if you like.
Sorry about that. I just joined, so I'm here to learn.
Okay,
Well, just to give you a bit of a recap, it looks like we had a couple people here who were just kind of at the starting phases of, their businesses. We had one of them who's looking to open up a restaurant and explained kind of the different liability exposures from a mobile food truck standpoint based on a physical location. And then we also had a contractor, general contractor, looking to engage in, street work and large heavy equipment work, excavating, grading, etc. And then and then we have a transport dispatcher, which requires surety bond and general liability. So, I just went over the bonding requirements, and then in regard to liability insurance, I went over the ratings of how they are actually charging. They charge per sales. So I just kind of took a general overview of what each business was trying to accomplish and gave some feedback. But all in all, as you probably know, Michael, there's no cookie cutter solution for insurance, unfortunately, based on the various businesses that are out there and everyone's subclass within those industries per se. So yeah, it's kind of fun to hear what everyone's interested in and what they're looking to pursue, because this is where it starts, is the discussion panel and the business plan. So,
To me, if I may just step in and say something, the most important thing is to find a trusted insurance broker who comes to you via referrals from people who are maybe either in the same business or just in general, because a broker can look at lots of different kinds of insurance and make good recommendations, as long as they've been already vetted as good, reliable partners going forward. It just seems that, with all the clients that I've spoken to, insurance always comes up, whether it's liability or surety or the unique requirements of, say, a food serving business or the contracting business that you mentioned. You got to have somebody in your corner, because there's so much. Even if you think you've got a policy and, great, things change like every year.
right.
So, you got to have somebody who's watching that.
Yeah, and to that point, and I'll use a good example in regard to the restaurant industry. Okay, if let's say you're going to go and open up a restaurant, the landlord, in order to give you the keys, the landlord's only going to ask you for liability insurance for the premise. Okay, they're going to make sure that if somebody slips and falls in their facility, that the liability is covered, mainly for the landlord's case, right? But if let's say that restaurant, has bacteria in their food, or debris falls into the food, and now a child eats it and gets sick or gets physically injured, if your policy doesn't cover the completed operations of your business, and it only covers, let's say, landlord liability, aka slip and fall coverage, oh, well, I've been paying $500 a year, but for what? You don't have the right coverage. So part of that is just understanding what it is you're actually getting versus what you're paying for. You have to, and it's not easy, honestly. You go online, it looks good, right? Or, you talk to somebody, even though it was a recommendation, they're going to tell you one thing, but unless you really read it yourself, it's hard to know. And it's in a foreign language, so you really have to have a trusted partner and someone who's going to break it down in like a layman's terms, because there's so many other things that as a business owner, you should have to worry about aside from insurance.
Oh yeah. You got to work on getting your business going. Who wants to spend time on insurance? That's like boring.
Exactly. So, that's just a common example of like, not providing the right policy because of price, and we're not always gonna win on price, unfortunately. We're gonna win
Yeah.
based on knowledge and based on policy knowledge, and really understanding our clients' exposures.
Mhm.
There's been time over time where my clients have contacted me and said, thank you so much for recommending me to add this property coverage to my building, or whatever the situation is, or adding this broadening endorsement, because now I don't have to pay for that rental car, or now I'm going to get my $10,000 scanner covered, and so they're just these small things where you actually make a substantial impact on the lives of other individuals, because the business is their livelihood at the end of the day.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah.
They run the risk.
Yeah, absolutely. So, yeah, I mean, if anybody has any last minute questions, I'd be happy to answer. Otherwise, I think Christina's going to send the previous surety presentation that we had to everybody, that way you can go over it. And then I just send you my information. You guys can each reach out to me individually. I can definitely get you some answers, and then go from there. It should be a pretty straightforward, simple process.
Sounds like a
thank
great
you.
resource.
Yeah, thank you, Mikhail. Before we go, we'll type in
Thank
the chat for those that don't have a mentor, the link for you to request a mentor, or if you have a question, it's info@, and Christine will put that in the chat for you today. And Mikhail, I want to thank you, and Michael, if you guys can stay on for a post overview here. So unless we have any other questions, we want to thank everybody, and hopefully you'll stay tuned for upcoming webinars pertaining to your business.
Thank you guys for your time and information.
Okay,
All right,
Absolutely.
guys.
Have a good week, guys.
Hey,
All
sir, I
right.
have one question
thanks.
before you go. Peter, I have one question. This is Kevin.
Sure.
yes, go ahead.
It's when you say register on the Caltrans website, is that what does that consist of? What is that going to allow me to do?
You're going to register your business. You need to complete an application as a business owner with your license and your profile on there to start receiving bids from Caltrans.
Okay. Okay.
And
Yeah.
if you need help with that, just email me and we'll get you hooked up on it.
Okay. All right. And I do need a mentor. So,
Okay.
so I appreciate it. I'll keep.
So when you go on there and request a mentor, let us know you're a veteran and you try and do that, and we'll be sure we assign the right mentor to you.
Okay. I really
Kevin,
appreciate it.
what area are you located in?
I'm in Fresno.
You are in
Okay.
Fresno. Oh, perfect. Okay. So we'll receive your request directly and probably get that over assigned to Peter right away.
And we also have a local Caltrans person that will work with you directly.
Yes, we do.
How's that?
Okay.
How's that?
That's awesome.
So hopefully we made your day.
Yeah, you did. I'm trying to see. I'm on my smartphone, so I'm trying to see where this chat is. Okay. Okay.
So
I see the
Kevin,
chat.
I'm going to include all of the information in a follow-up email as well. So you don't have to worry about writing everything down. So I'll send it over.
Okay. Really appreciate it.
Thank you.
All right.
Thank you, everybody. Have a great week.
Okay.
Thank you.
So long.